On December 27th, I DM'd Coconut Brick Studios for a video idea. On December 27th. Better late than never, I guess. I let Coconut Brick Studios decide what I should build, and his answer was Utapau. If you haven't seen Coconut Brick Studios, I will leave a card in the top right corner. Go check him out, and on with the video. Usually, I don't build out of dark tan, but that's what Utapau calls for, so this is everything that I have out of dark tan, except that I made an order just like last week off of lego.com. So I got a whole bunch of little small plates and a couple small bricks of the dark tan, as well as a couple 1x2 olive green plates. Pieces should be enough, so let's get started building. It was really difficult for me to find out an idea of how to build Utapau. I didn't want it to be a big flat open area like the beginning of the battle scene in Revenge of the Sith, as well as I didn't want to build just a small little cave. The idea struck me on what to build when I remembered this scene. In the background you can clearly see railings, which means that there's a drop off. But I didn't want to copy the exact scene down because that would be pretty boring, and also not what the challenge is. So I added my own little spin to it and made two different stories on this mock. I'm connecting them with a bunch of rock work from the bottom to the second story. This is perfect because I wanted to incorporate some sort of rock work in this mock because Utapau is mainly known for that. I'm trying two relatively new ideas and techniques for this mock. The first one is building rock work, which I've done in the past but not too much, so I'm relatively new to it. The second technique is using a bunch of small plates to add more detail on the terrain. Usually I start by placing a bunch of the same color of bigger plates and then add detail later. This adds for greater detail, and I might use this technique more often in the future. In the mix with all of this dark tan plating, I did order some 1x2 olive green plates, which I'm intermixing within the dark tan. It's kind of hard for the camera to pick it up, but trust me, it's there. I added some better lighting, so if you look hard enough, you might be able to see it. I'm adding olive green into the mix of the rock work because I didn't want it to just be dark tan, while both stories had olive green intermixed with the dark tan. I really had to focus up on how I did the filler brick, because instead of doing large plating and adding small amounts of detail in, the only part of this mock will be details, which means I'm going to be having to push down on the filler brick quite a lot, which means I need a sturdy base. The bottom story of this mock didn't have too much elevation, so on the second part of the mock, I'm going to add some wedge plates into the corner to give it more elevation, which for the terrain aspect of this mock is really all I have to do left. Then I can go on and add the minifigures. Before I move on to adding the minifigures, I'm going to touch up on some different areas of the mock, just adding some last minute final pieces. This includes adding a big railing on the second story. Next, all I have to do is add the minifigures and we're finally done. Little editor's note here while I'm placing the minifigures. Make sure you guys go over and show Coconut Brick Studios some love on his channel. It was really cool of him to participate in this video idea. I really enjoy watching his content, and I think you guys would too. So a huge thank you and a huge shout out to Coconut Brick Studios. Now let's get back to finishing out this mock. I'm really proud of how this mock turned out. It's great practice adding all these new and different techniques into my mocks because this opens doors in the future for different mocks that I can do. In the beginning, before I even started building, I was thinking of how I could include rock work and the ATTE set, but I opted out of fitting the ATTE into the mock because I didn't have that much dark tan to go around. That concludes this video. If you guys enjoy this type of content, consider subscribing, and I'll see you all in the next video.